Welcome back. Okay, let's just jump right into this explainer. Picture this for a second. You're just walking down the street, got your headphones in, minding your own business. And then out of nowhere, the ground literally splits open. A blinding blue light just swallows your entire city whole, and bam! You're teleported into this brutal, apocalyptic fantasy realm. You aren't a normal citizen anymore. Nope, you're a pawn on a massive cosmic chessboard. This is the absolutely ruthless world we're exploring today, and it's a story that completely flips the script on what it means to be a hero. Trust me, surviving this takes some serious 4D chess.
So let me ask you guys something. How exactly do you save an entire city when the very power to do so makes literally everyone in it absolutely despise you? I mean, imagine getting the ultimate cheat code in a game, right? But the catch is, it turns your hometown against you overnight. That is the impossible crazy bird and thrust right onto our main guy, Yul Choi.
To really get why the stakes are so high, we gotta look at the rules of what they call the God Game. The story kicks off when that blue light swallows the city, forcing everyone into this twisted game where citizens are now literal game pieces. Giant dice fall straight from the sky and they dictate everyone's movement and fate. Every single person has to roll a 100-sided die to determine their survival classes and gear. If you roll low, well, you get common gear. But if you roll high, you actually have a fighting chance against the immediate, terrifying waves of monsters crashing into people's homes.
Now, as you can imagine, most terrified people are rolling pretty low, getting stuck with basic, ordinary citizen classes. But then Yul Choi steps up, he rolls his die, and you know what? It lands on the impossible number. He actually hits the 100. And in an instant, boom, he acquires the absolute strongest, rarest, and arguably most dangerous item on the entire server.
But, you know there's always a catch, and this one is devastating. He gets something called the Greed Book, or the Book of Cran. It's a mythical grade text that grants him infinite game knowledge. We're talking monster data, hidden items, boss weaknesses. You'll seize the whole shebang. But it carries this nasty curse called the Sacrifice of Sovereignty. See, Cran is the incarnation of monopolizing desire. That basically means any reward earned through the knowledge from this book goes straight back to the book's owner. So if Yul helps anyone using this cheat sheet, he literally robs his own allies of the survival points they desperately need to heal and level up.
Which brings us to the very first defense mission. Yul steps up and flawlessly commands his people to a massive victory. But when the rewards drop, the system announces that everyone's points are sitting at 0. Because of the curse, Yul accidentally steals 9 billion points. Yeah, 9 billion. In the blink of an eye, he becomes the most hated man alive, and angry mobs form, totally ready to tear their so-called savior apart.
Since he can't just give the points back, Yul has to make this incredibly heartbreaking choice. He decides to just lean all the way into the villain persona. So, to the city, they see a greedy, tyrannical monster who robbed their only lifeline. But the reality, it's completely different. Yul intentionally isolates himself. He absorbs all their hatred and takes on the Demon Lord's punishment alone, just so the city can fight independently, keep their points, and actually level up safely.
And let me tell you, the pacing in this world is just absolutely ruthless. On day 1, they get teleported. By day 2, 90% of the city is cursed as sacrifices. Day 3 hits, and these apocalyptic pillars drop straight out of the sky. They barely survived that first monster wave, and now, by day 4, they have to stop Demon King Kumbaba. The city is exhausted and completely outmatched.
So to keep his curse from draining his people any further, Yul has to go completely solo. He uses those 9 billion stolen points to secretly max out all his physical stats. Then, he actually takes to the sky to fight the deadliest Pillar Guardians completely in the shadows. His master plan is to hijack the Demon King boss fight at the last possible second, ensuring the city can swoop in and reap all the rewards without him accidentally stealing them.
But Yul knows he can't just play solo savior forever. He has to build a team from afar. Using his secret knowledge, he essentially orchestrates events behind the scenes. He sets things up so Heju transforms into this heroic flame angel wielding the fang of the Imperial Flame Dragon. He manipulates battles so Sergeant Jae Hong naturally evolves into this brilliant military commander wearing the helm of Helden. Basically, Yul's forging the city's greatest heroes by playing the ultimate villain.
The climax of this arc is it's insane. Yul goes in and absolutely obliterates Demon King Kumbaba so utterly that he literally breaks the game's logic. The system detects this max-level, max-stat anomaly, and it actually tries to eliminate him. But it glitches out. It gives up. So now, Yul is officially this invisible anomaly. He is completely off the radar of the cosmic beings running the board.
Of course, having god-tier power comes with a genuinely horrifying cost. Because Yule refuses to actually sacrifice his citizens and steal from them, he constantly triggers the Demon King's punishment. This means he's inflicted with extreme, agonizing physical pain behind closed doors. He's walking around playing this cocky, untouchable villain in public, while internally he is literally burning alive just to keep his citizens safe.
This all leads into the Golden God's treasure hunt, which gives us this perfect contrast in what it means to be a villain. On one hand, you have this new threat called the Serpent, basically a toxic, childish high school player who uses poison items just to bully the weak. And then you contrast that edgy nonsense with Yule. Yule is a 40 chess strategic mastermind, actively using his terrifying reputation to force his city to actually learn teamwork under extreme pressure.
To make this happen, Yule intentionally backs a rival faction, the Desert Deity. He hoards the best loot and starts taunting the entire city with this terrifyingly high score of 38.5 million points, compared to their 27 million. He essentially induces absolute, widespread panic. He forces a totally fractured city to brave dangerous dungeons and fight together for one single unified purpose. They just want to beat him.
And you know what? His twisted motivation works flawlessly. At the literal last second, the city units and actually beats his score. In doing so, they officially level up their entire society. They form these organized lit RPG guilds. You've got Hiju's heroic Dellings Guild, the armed forces led by the military, and even the criminal Serpent Guild gets in line. Yule successfully forged a unified front without them even realizing he was helping. But hey, the God game never actually lets you rest. Just as City 8 finally gets its act together, the system drops a massive bombshell on them. They get teleported into a joint mission called the Cannon Tower War. And here's the kicker. They are pitted against another human settlement, City 17. Suddenly, the horrifying realization sets in. They aren't the only ones playing this twisted game.
The stakes just skyrocket right here. Our guys, City 8, they've been surviving this nightmare for exactly 1 month. City 17? Oh, they've been doing this for 150 years. While City 8 is just now figuring out how guilds work, City 17 is this totally united, medieval powerhouse ruled by King Ramulo, and they actually have direct divine blessings from the cosmic players. City 8 is just vastly outmatched.
So the Cannon Tower War kicks off, and it is pure, unadulterated chaos. Within hours, City 17 is already plotting this brutal betrayal using a fake peace treaty. But right in the middle of all that, Yule gets violently ripped from the battlefield. A level 600 system NPC has finally tracked down his glitchy status and launches a lethal, invasive analysis to literally delete him from the game.
Cornered in this isolated system zone, Yule is completely physically outmatched by this level 600 NPC. His raw, maxed-out stats just aren't enough without actual combat experience. So he taps into his absolute most insane skill yet, Overlord Possession. He literally lets a former enemy, this boss monster called Goblin Sword Master Jack, that he bound to a spirit contract, take complete physical control of his body. Jack's legendary martial arts just flow right through Yule, slicing the system NPC to ribbons and forcing the game to pass his audit. It is wild.
Having barely survived this system audit, Yule doesn't miss a single beat. He teleports straight into City 17's heavily guarded castle to confront the betraying King Ramulo face to face. Now the king gets cocky and activates a duel card, forcing a 1v1 fight where their levels are perfectly matched, assuming Yule is just some stat-heavy rookie who doesn't know how to fight. But Yule, having just learned from the literal swordmaster, completely humiliates the king with pure combat IQ. He beats him into the ground, proving once and for all he doesn't just rely on cheat codes.
And that, my friends, leaves us on a massive cliffhanger. Yule Choi managed to save his city by becoming their absolute worst nightmare. He manipulated the game, tricked the system, and defeated an entire empire that had 150 years of experience on him. But with the cosmic players finally noticing this overpowered glitch running rampant on their board, you really have to wonder, what happens when the ultimate anti-hero stops fighting pawns and takes on the gods themselves? It is such a thrilling setup, and I can't wait to see how he outsmarts the cosmos next.